What's up guys? John here, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you 3 licks in the style of the great Jimi Hendrix. The first 2 licks I'm going to show you are going to be based more around chords, so they could be considered rhythm licks, and then the third one is just one of the most classic Hendrix sounds of all time. Alright, let's get into it. The first lick sounds like this. And it's based off of an A chord here, and this is from Axis Bold as Love. You can hear this right at the beginning of the tune. And I'm playing this Hendrix kind of thumb chord where you take a major bar chord and you convert it to a thumb shape, which is basically going to be thumb on the A note, the root note, which is the 5th fret of the E string. Then we'll go to the D string and play 3rd finger on the 7th fret, and then the G string, 2nd finger, 6th fret, and then our first finger is going to do a little bar covering the B and the E strings at the 5th fret. So that's our A chord. And immediately you have this double stop sound, which is a classic thing that Hendrix would do. Play licks like that. So you're going to take your first finger and you're going to bar 5 and 5, and you're going to do a hammer on. You'll pluck those notes, and then you'll hammer with your 3rd finger to the 7th fret of the B string. Now you want to make sure that that note underneath on the 1st string keeps ringing. So you've got the A chord, and then you immediately jump to this shape, which is another double stop. We're going to be playing the G string, 4th fret, with our 1st finger, and the B string, 5th fret, with our 2nd finger. We're going to play those 2 notes together with a down, and then we'll hammer with our 3rd finger to the 6th fret, again on the G string. So we'll leave that B string ringing underneath. So the double stop with the hammer, and then the double stop with the hammer. And what we're doing is just outlining, hammering into the 3rd there of that A shape. So you can see how it's just a lick right off of the chord. And the rhythm's gonna be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. So you'll play the first 2 beats on the A chord, and then on the 3rd beat you'll start this lick. 3 and. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. Okay? So that's the first lick there. Now if you wanted to, you could also play that like this, which would be taking that shape we started with, the A chord, but using these fingers like this, which is a really cool thing to do, and then it frees up your 1st finger. I'll use this in a rhythm lick all the time, like kind of a cool shape there. So you can really outline the A chord like that. And again, John Mayer, you'll hear him do this as well. He got it from Hendrix. So one more time, the lick sounds like this. Let's go to the key of E now. This is another classic thing that Hendrix would do, and let's say you're going to play an E chord, he might do something like this. Okay, and if you've been following along with our Inside the Harmony series, which you should check that out on our channel, it's all about chords and triads, you're going to run into this shape, and I may mention it as like a Hendrix chord in those lessons. But the idea is that we're going to be playing a major chord with the 3rd in the bass, and we'll be hammering into that. So let's say that we take an E chord, for example, like our 7th fret bar chord, like this. So this is going to be starting on the A string, 7, 9, 9, 9. The idea is that we'll take the root note, and we'll change that. Instead of being the 7th fret, it's now going to be the 11th fret. So we're going to have 11, 9, 9, 9. But still the top part of that chord is the same. So here's your E. Then it becomes, if you just play from the A string down, an E with a G sharp in the bass, or a 1st inversion E chord. So then what you do is you just bring your 1st finger up and grab that A string, play 3 or 4 strings if you want, and then hammer with your third finger to the 11th fret on the A string. So the idea is that you took this chord shape, E, and it became this. And you can hammer into that chord like, how's that for an E chord, right? Just a really cool sound. Now Hendrix would approach that maybe like a half step or even a whole step below. And you've got that chord shape that you can use that's based off of an E chord. So this would be like D, E flat, E. So that's the idea, is just based off that chord there. First inversion E chord. And you can think of it as this shape. See, the top structure is still there. And now you get this. So again, like, of course, the classic tune that's used in is The Wind Cries Mary. Check it out. It starts out like this. So the idea is that you're hammering in, just like what we talked about. So that's lick number 2. And then lick number 3, I'm gonna add a little bit of distortion. So I'm gonna kick on my distortion pedal, and this is gonna be the sound that we're going for here. And these are what I call unison bends. Again, it's a double stop idea like the first lick that we worked on, where we're going to be playing 2 strings in the lick. And I'll show you 2 variations. The first variation would be this. It would be the 9th fret of the E string and the 12th fret of the B string. So we got those 2 notes there. I'll put my third finger down on the B string and first finger on the E string. Now I'm also going to put my second finger down on the B string as well, because I'm going to do a bend. And I'm going to keep this note chill, and I'm going to bend this note up a whole step. And that's the lick there. And you hear Hendrix doing this. That sort of sound all the time, right? So that's the version with the strings being the E and the B strings. Now what if we brought it up 1 string? It would look like this. So then of course you could do, licks like that. So this would be the 11th fret of the G string and the 9th fret on the B string. Bend again the third finger, leave the first finger there. And that's the sound. Now, the reason they're called unison bends is because here, this note is G sharp, and then this note is actually F sharp, which is a whole step below. But the idea is that I'm going to bend that note that's a whole step below up a whole step, which would make F sharp become a G sharp, which now makes it what we call a unison bend, like they're the same note, they're in unison. But the fact that you got one bending into it and then on a different string, it's just an amazing sound. So again, check out All Along the Watchtower, and you'll hear those kind of licks with those unison bends. Alright you guys, thanks so much for checking out this lesson. I really hope it helps you out and gives you some insight into Hendrix's guitar style. For more information, you can click on the link below and get a free PDF of over 100 pages of licks and exercises that's all about soloing. It's a book I wrote called Melodic Expressions. You can get it on the iTunes bookstore for $15 or for free in the link below. So that's my gift to you. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We've got new videos dropping every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll see you guys in the next one.